Infinity 101, more one beginning.
What happened? Someone set up us the bomb. We get signal. What? Main screen turn on.
It's you.
How are you, gentlemen? All your base are belong to us. You are on the way to destruction.
What you say?
You have no chance to survive, mate, your time. Ha ha ha.
In a moment, you are going to meet Paul Kopanides. He is a video gamer. And during this documentary on video games, I realized he is seriously addicted to video games. Throughout this documentary, you will be presented with an interview of Paul himself and have it follow the usual format. I wish for you to draw your own conclusions about him.
Hello, my name is Paul Kopanides. Also, my name is Tricky Technology, and I'm affiliated with the UPA, United Penises of Australia clan.
The playing of video games, or gaming as it is known by fellow gamers, is not a sport or a hobby, but rather an activity to sit with or without friends and play in moderation. This is the story of a serious gamer, an addict if you will. His life now revolves around the playing of video games, and he has gamed for over 1,700 hours since the year 2006. And before that, we haven't got a clue, nor do we dare think of it. He is in a state of social limbo, as he is alienated by those around him because he cannot see the line between the online world and the real world. We can even draw comparisons between Paul and a heroin addict. This is a documentary not meant to shock, but to inform you of the terrible affliction that ails this young man and others like him. We cannot help Paul, but with the making of this documentary, we hope to inform and warn you of the dangers of excessive gaming. Heed my warning. Do not become an addict. It will ruin your life. I'll start with asking, do you play video games?
Yes, I do. I play FPS and a little bit of MMORPG. MMORPG is short for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game. It's a massively multiplayer online game, which is lots of people play it, but it's also a role-playing game. An example of this is World of Warcraft, made by Blizzard Entertainment in 2004, which now has over 9 million players online.
You said World of Warcraft. That's obviously a popular game.
Yeah.
Do you play it often?
I play World of Warcraft around 7 or 8 hours a week.
And how often would you play just regular video games?
I'd say regular video games, I'd say 40 hours.
40?
Around 40.
Would you consider that a lot?
Yeah, I would, but it's not too bad. It's not too much. Because it's a hobby, and it's like saying, you can't build a model plane in like 40 hours and say it's too much.
Tell me more about World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft is a game where you make a character, and depending on what race you choose, you can be like a certain class, and then you level that character up to 70 or 60 if you haven't got Burning Crusade expansion, and you can do pretty awesome stuff when you get to the highest level.
How many hours on average would it take to get to level 70?
If you're a new player to World of Warcraft and don't know what's going on, you'd probably go about 20 hours and 20 days to get there. But if you're a really skilled player, you'd probably take 5 days total game time to get there, not 5 days straight though.
So that would take, if you're a good gamer, you say?
Yeah.
It'll take over 100 hours.
Yeah, still, it's a pretty tough game.
And what level are you in World of Warcraft?
I'm level 70.
Level 70.
Yeah.
And how many hours did it take you, do you think?
It took me quite a lot. I got like 30 days total game time on my character.
30 days?
Because I played a bit at level 70 as well.
Would you consider yourself a pro gamer?
Yes, I would. Because, I don't know, because I've got some of the best aim and some of the best FPSs there is out there.
FPS, what's that?
First person shooter.
Elaborate, please.
A first person shooter is a game which you use weapons but in the first person perspective.
What do you think was the first video game that got you into gaming?
I'd say Super Mario on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That was quite a long time ago, I'd say, when I was like 5 or 6.
Do you or have you ever played video games for more than 6 hours straight?
Yes, I have. Not very often, no.
And what game was it?
I'd say Counter-Strike Source.
Counter-Strike Source, what's that?
It's a game which is meant to replicate real life situations where terrorists and counter-terrorists attack each other. And the terrorists, sometimes their objective is to plant the bomb or protect the hostages, and the CTs have to stop the bomb from being planted, or they have to defuse it, or they have to rescue the hostages.
Terrorism and counter-terrorism in a video game. Would you consider that a bit politically incorrect?
No, I wouldn't. Because if they have a problem with it, then technically the government themselves wouldn't be politically correct. It's only a game. Don't take it too seriously.
Currently, like at this moment, what is your favourite game?
I'd say Team Fortress 2 is my favourite game.
And Team Fortress 2, what's that?
It's a game where you can choose from two teams, the blue team and the red team. And then there's an assortment of 9 different classes that you can choose to complete different tasks, like capture all of the points in a level or capture their enemy intelligence.
What are your other favourite games?
I'd say the whole Orange Box package, which has Half-Life 2 Episode 2 and Portal in it as well, is pretty good. And Counter-Strike Source.
Why do you play video games?
I play them because they're really fun, and it's also doubles as a hobby for me. And whenever I say own a player, yeah, and it's really fun, and I get really good at it.
Would you consider video games a stress reliever?
No, I wouldn't, because sometimes you get owned yourself and you get really angry at the game. Causes rage.
So you're saying that video games make you violent?
No, I'd just say they make you angry.
So they make you angry, but not violent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right then. Just gonna have a recording.
Macaron, yeah, macaron, no, chacaron, 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 chacaron.
What is leet speak?
Leet speak is what nerds use to look cool. Like, they use stuff like 1337 spelled like that, leet. And they use oh my god, pwund and stuff like that spelled special ways. Owned is where the player gets repeatedly owned, like killed heaps, or they get killed in the most humorous way.
Are you aware of the popular Halo series?
Yes. Halo 1 is created by Bungie, and it's an FPS which has a single player and multiplayer modes. In single player you can play it with yourself, or you can play with friends in co-op. And in multiplayer, there's various games which you can play, like Oddball and just Slayer Deathmatch. On Halo 2, Bungie worked a little bit more on the multiplayer than the single player. Even though the single player was pretty great, the multiplayer had more features like clans. Like you could get a bunch of your friends on your friends list and make a clan, and you could play different matches. If you had a party, you could play a game that you've made. In Halo 3, Bungie had added a new mode called Forge, which you could make your own maps with, put props in and stuff like that, and play on them with your own game modes as well. And it uses the Xbox 360 dashboard to help assist with friends lists and whatnot. The single player, pretty much the end of the Halo experience for single player at the moment, is pretty extraordinary with new physics.
LAN parties.
Well, a LAN party is pretty much heaps of PCs connected up together to play one game over the LAN connection, and you won't have lag like you would on internet games, which goes to the same on consoles. You can connect them all up together to play a LAN game, and you can play whatever game you want that's multiplayer over the LAN connection.
Have you participated in any LAN parties yourself?
Yes, I have one recently that I've participated in here with a few of my friends. We played Counter-Strike Source mostly and some Halo 3. It was me, Jack, G and Davern. We had some fun. Yeah, it was a storm outside. Couple of us, Jack and Davern, were playing on laptops, and me and G were playing on computers, and I was using the TV as a monitor. Yeah, we had some fun there. It was a pretty comfortable setting as well. We used George's chairs and stuff. It was pretty fun.
Don't believe me? Here, I'll pick you up. That's you.
Every single thing you've ever done, including this thing.
You're not smart. You're not a scientist.
You're not a doctor. You're not even a full-time employee.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done, and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Black Mesa. That was a joke, haha, that chance. Anyway, this cake is great. It's so delicious and moist. Look at me still talking when there's science to do. When I look up there, it makes me glad I'm not you. I've experiments to run. There is research to be done on the people who are still alive. And believe me, I am still alive. I'm doing science and I'm still alive. I feel fantastic and I'm still alive. While you're dying, I'll be still alive. And when you're dead, I will be still alive. Still alive. Still alive.
You're 14, you won't have sex until you're 40.
Oh my fucking god. Fad teabagging and they're sucking their balls and power masturbating. And you can play with yourself or